What's this gig you're doing this Thursday, Susie?
So I'm doing a gig at the Hilton with Emma Dodds, the sports presenter, and it's for Street Soccer, the homeless charity. And there's 2 guests on it, and the guests are Ozzy Ardiles and James McFadden.
I know who James McFadden is. He was a football player for the Scotland team.
Christopher said that with his thumbs up.
Who do you think Ozzy Ardiles?
Well, this is my question.
Ardiles.
I don't really know. I hear Ozzy, I go Osborne. I don't know who Ozzy Ardiles is.
So he was a player for Tottenham Hotspur and Argentina. Won, was it the 1978 World Cup? And
he won it?
He won it with Argentina. Played with and was very good friends with one Diego Maradona.
Oh, I know him.
Who for me, best of all time.
Yeah.
Like the greatest.
Hand of God.
That's it. Just the greatest player of all time. Non-negotiable. But also, Ozzy Ardiles was playing in the UK at the time. Britain was fighting the Falklands War.
Fuck.
So
conflict of interest.
Conflict of interest indeed. So that might be quite an interesting chat to have. I'll ask him about Soldier F.
What's his take on Thatcherism?
Well, that'll be interesting.
He was most famous because Tottenham won, was it the 1981 or 1980 FA Cup?
Yep.
But they had a song in those days. The whole squad would come on top of the pops if they got in the charts with their like cup song. So some really famous players are doing this. But Ozzy Ardiles had one line in the song which was, and it was like, we're going to Wembley or something, and he would go, and we play for Tottenham.
He was also in the film Escape to Victory.
He was in Escape to Victory.
Where he does the famous flick, doesn't he? Does he?
The scorpion kick? Or the Pelly?
You seen Escape to Victory?
No. Is it a football film?
See it. They're all confined to a prison camp, and they are Pelly, John
I did say Pelly.
Toshak, or was it John Walk or someone? John Walk.
John Walk, maybe.
Fucking like, a whole bunch of famous footballers. All the Ardiles. In goal, Sylvester Stallone. And at left back, Michael Caine.
Wow.
The fuck.
What a team.
Yeah.
Just shut the bloody door.
So see the film The Longest Yard? Is that what it's called?
Yep.
Is that an American remake of Escape to Victory, or is Escape to Victory a British remake?
Neither a remix of the other. The
Bobby,
Longest Yard is
Billy Bob Thornton.
The American name of the film, The Mean Machine.
Right.
Yeah. Which was originally a Burt Reynolds vehicle.
And they done the remake with Sandler and all that.
And then they did a remake, yeah. And Vinnie Jones is in it or something, isn't he?
Vinnie Jones is in it. Is that a reference to the Mean Machine?
Yeah, maybe. Like, there's a bit good. The best bit in the Burt Reynolds film is they let this guy out who's just locked in a shed somewhere in the grounds, and they don't know what he's in for. And he comes out and he's like bald and naked and doing karate.
Bronson type shit.
Yeah. And they go, what's he in for? And they're like, I don't know, but he like killed 2 guards. And someone goes, that karate's some bad shit. And the other guy goes, that's before he learned karate.
Bobby Moore was also in Escape to Victory.
Right.
England World Cup winning captain. Basically, Allied prisoner of wars get convinced to play a German football team, and then they get used for German propaganda.
Maybe Bobby Moore was just in for stealing something.
Maybe.
I don't know what that means.
Bobby Moore was done during the 1970 World Cup for stealing a bracelet by possibly it was a conspiracy of some sort.
Oh, that was planted on him?
Or no, maybe they were doing it for a laugh or something. I don't know. We don't know.
Football
English
was different then.
It's not the worst thing they've done.
Fucking English.
So, that's I've got that to look forward to this week on Thursday night.
Fantastic. Are you excited? What are you going to say to Ozzy?
I don't know, I need to sit and work out my questions, but I think obviously, you know me, I'll go right in the Falklands and be like, I had an Argentina top. I was only 3, but I had
was that
one.
a kind of political stance you could take at the time?
Well, there is an area in Glasgow, Christopher, and for those of you who are not familiar with Glasgow, called the Garm-Gad, which is Germiston and Royston.
Is that a Jewish area?
No, very Irish. Garden-a-Gad. That's why it's a
Mearns is a Jewish
Garm-Gad.
area.
Where?
Newton Mearns.
Right, okay.
And very, I would say, in the 1970s and 80s, it had a lot of Irish Republican sympathies.
Right.
And when Britain was fighting the Falklands War, there was guys selling Argentina tops on the street
Yeah, yeah.
because they were just like, nah, fuck it, the enemy of my enemy's my friend.
Of course. Because I seen a wee clip of Eugene Levy on, I believe, a Capital radio show. And he was going, my mom and dad were from Glasgow, the Gorbals. Is that still going, the Gorbals? Can I go visit the Gorbals? I was like, I would love to, because I used to work in the New Gorbals. And I would love to take him about and go, I used to deliver catalogues here. Eugene Levy.
I remember the new Gorbals being built.
I remember
That's
it being
old,
built, yeah.
But they did a good thing. They opened it up into the old kind of street lines so that you can go straight up to the salt market and straight across. It's kind of a cool thing.
And kind of, it was probably one of the first bits to be gentrified, wasn't it? Like, once they'd knocked it down and then kind of built up the houses, and then loads of people moved to there because, like, they bought houses there because they were like, oh, it's so close to the town and I've got a garden and shit. Do you know what I mean? So, it's all right, the old Gorbals. What's,
I have a question for Frankie.
oh,
Who do you think is the greatest football player of all time?
Pele.
Pele.
Yeah.
So it's an exciting film for you two.
Yeah.
The two best ever teaming up in cinema.
Maradona isn't in the film.
Oh, talk shite, sorry.
no, I
I misheard. What's so great about Pele? Because he does that big kick.
I just think like Pele's in the era of zero protection. So is Maradona to an extent. But
Essentially.
like, once they sort of start not allowing you to tackle from behind and booking people for any time they don't get the ball and make contact, then this is a famous quote from an article, but someone said Messi then becomes inevitable, right? And you know, Pele didn't have any of that. Like Pele would have probably scored 1,000 goals in the modern era.
yeah.
Because loads of that things that people go, oh, I scored loads of goals in friendlies and that. Friendlies then were like a South American select against a European select, and they're allowed to 2-foot you, basically. And he still scored, you know, near to 1,000 goals. So
Wow.
I think he would have succeeded in any area because he was just so fucking tough.
For me, Maradona, like, I know his private life was an absolute shit show, but
What was he up to?
oh fuck, so he signed for Napoli, right, which was a disaster, right? For a
Are
whole
they the fascist team?
no,
No,
but it's
Lazio.
Naples. Aye, Lazio. Fuck Lazio. So it's Naples. There's a lot of Cosa Nostra connections down there. There's a lot of Cosa Nostra, and that's where he kind of lost his shit. But he single-handedly took this, essentially a provincial team from the south, and challenged the big teams of the north, the Juventus and the ACs and the Inter Milans and all that, and won them Serie A twice and a Scudetto. So you're like, and single-handedly won his country the World Cup.
I've never been to Italy really, but my understanding of it is that it's kind of a flip of Britain, in that the south is poor, but the
north
rich
is
bits
rich.
of the north.
Aye. All your big cities are up there. So he kind of single, and he's still like revered as an icon. But he's probably the first world-class football player that I ever watched on TV. I was too young for Pele, but to watch Maradona, and like that 1986 World Cup's probably the first World Cup that I can remember, and he was just this wee squat guy. You know, like you look at football players now and they're all like they're like fucking prime horses. Do you know what I mean? But
Some of them are like Slender Man. They're so thin and long.
yeah, there's nothing to them. But Maradona, he was strong. He had the skill. He also had a bit of charisma and all that as well. And he was just a great player to watch.
It was like, you know, they say the bumblebee shouldn't be able to fly. That was kind of what his body was like.
Aye.
You're like, this
It
shouldn't
defied
work.
Aye.
physics.
Aye, and he just, and the thing is as well, like I just think he was the greatest. He was the best, you know. But see, back then as well, even like you're saying about Pele, when you watch football, like sometimes you'll find a pure random game for the 1970s, right? And it'll be like an FA Cup game, and it could be Liverpool Man U, a big game, and they'll let's say it's an FA Cup semi-final, so they're playing it at a neutral ground that's not Wembley, and it will be like a fucking farmer's field. They'll have woolen jumpers on. It'll be lashing down, and the ball's essentially a pig bladder covered in leather. And then you watch somebody like Kenny Dalglish, or for me and Frankie, Jimmy Johnston. I remember getting the Jinky video for my Christmas and just watching this wee ginger-headed guy playing for Celtic and just ripping the best in the world apart. And that, I mean, they were proper footballers. Whereas now, you do just kind of go, I mean, you're playing in a bowling green. You know what I mean? You're playing in a bowling green. You've got lightweight sports equipment, lightweight ball. You've got boots that are perfect for what you're playing on. Like, everything is there for them. You've got dietary, you've got data, you've got everything that you need. And you go, these guys just went out and played football because that's all they knew.
There's that mad kind of cleverness to it as well. There's a bit in Nick Hornby's book where he talks about this, but it's like that kind of gasp from the crowd when someone on the pitch has seen something that you way above the pitch can't see. It's a kind of thing of, how does he try to get away from that fullback, see that pass that we're all, just looking on it like it's a beauty board, couldn't have imagined.
Aye, we're looking at, we're ball watching, aren't we? We're ball watching, whereas they just know. And it's just, when you're watching that kind of top end of football, it's like, I love watching Germany play football, because you watch Germany play football and they just all do their jobs really well. Do you know, they just know what their job is. This is your job. You're centre mid, you're a right back, you're a left back, and this is it. They don't overcomplicate it. They just go, this is your job. And then every decade or so, they have a generation that will win the Euros, win the World Cup, and then they just start again. Do you know what I mean? Whereas we're like, fuck, we've got one good player. Yes, we've got one.
And he's an alcoholic.
Aye, pretty much.
Gaza managed to play for 2 Nazi sides then. It's off to him.
Rangers and Lazio.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Lazio and Rangers, that was the order, aye. To go for Lazio to Rangers isn't really a big jump, is it?
No.
You know what I mean? Both blue and white. So, What's about Rangers?
Ideologically, Gaza is not a fascist.
No. I wouldn't have thought so.
But he's a gun for hire.
Aye.
I wouldn't have thought he has any particularly stringent ideology. Yeah.
Kindness, sweat, blood, tears. I remember seeing a big poster when I was a wee boy, and it was Gaza with blood running down his face, and it was in the Forge. This is a strong memory for me. And he said blood, sweat and tears, and I was like, who the fuck's this guy, man?
Remember the thing where Gaza cried at the World Cup? That was a big thing. How is British masculinity changing? Now a guy can cry, because he'd never seen a guy cry before.
It was Gary Lineker who turned around because he'd been booked in the semi-final, so it meant he couldn't play in the World Cup final if England could get through, which they never, obviously. Tale as old as time. And it was Gary Lineker on the camera, wasn't it? Turned around to the bench and was like, his head's away. Whereas Roy Keane, that happened to him in a Champions League semi-final, and he committed a foul and he got booked, and it was one booking over the threshold, so it meant that he wasn't going to play in the final. And Roy Keane played that game like he was wanting to be the first name in the team sheet in the final. Very different. That's what I'm saying. Roy Keane for me.
Stoicism.
I love Roy Keane. I love watching Roy Keane on TV.
We're
It's
advocating stoicism on this podcast.
Roy
man.
Keane is the stoic footballer, I believe.
I just
watch a lot of his stuff. I don't ever watch football, but he comes up in my feed quite a lot because I find him to be such a
hilarious.
really funny, but like you wouldn't want to be him.
He's
No,
just
really wanna be
he's
Roy
just
Keane.
your dad. He's
Yeah.
just your dad. You're like, oh, I get 4 A's and a B, and your dad's just like, well, the B's a bit shit. He's just your dad for a different decade.
Seems like it's a different century.
Ah, okay. He is fit. But it's like people are praising players and he just turns around and he's like, that's their job.
He's for Cork, isn't he?
Everything about him tells you he's for Cork.
Yeah.
Everything about him. What are we making of old the artist formerly known as Prince Andrew. What are we making of him?
He got stripped of his. Well,
Aye,
did he
I
get
bet he
stripped?
did
Or
get
did
stripped.
did he get asked to not have those titles anymore? What was the
No,
exact?
he was told, Chuck and Wills have said, listen, you, more shit's going to come out about you. You are no longer the Grand Old Duke of York.
As the amount of shit that's currently out is that he was best mates with the paedophile. Like what's fucking worse than that?
I'm going to be quite controversial here, and I'm going to say, we have discussed in this podcast before how close Prince Charles, then now King Charles, and Jimmy Savile were.
Were they tight? Were they YN?
Aye.
He was essentially his kind of marriage counsellor. Alan.
We have discussed this before, so I'm a bit like, if I was Andrew, I'd be like, you were mates with a guy shagging dead bodies, allegedly.
Oh no, it's not even alleged. That's like one of the later things he did.
Right, okay.
That was like, compared to, there's a plenty of living victims.
I was listening to Steve Coogan on Louis Theroux podcast,
Oh, I listened to that.
and
It was
he's
great.
talking about being Savile and how it was like devastating, like every day, just a pure heaviness on your soul. Like it fucking made him really sad, and he was like crying and stuff because he couldn't cope with being sad. He was like, I still just been on the job, and then he had the wig on and the tracksuit, and he was having to speak to kids because the kids are actors.
Not
and
really the
stuff.
sort of acting job you should go method on. Your Honour, I refer you to the Stanislavski method.
Oh, it's fucking bleak, man. I am in no way excusing any of Prince Andrew's behaviour, but I just think we're all overlooking the fact that this is a family that kind of befriends nonsense.
And then get like, what about Mountbatten? Do you know
Well,
what I mean?
What about him?
What about him? He was
Prolific.
rumoured to be a prolific beast
Yeah,
and blown up on a boat
by the IRA.
by the IRA.
Fair fucks.
Fair fucks.
but yeah, that was a heavy rumour, wasn't it?
That's not why the IRA did it.
No.
We don't know.
We don't know.
I dislike his politics, but his sexual morality is worse.
If that was the case, they would have blown up the Vatican,
Yeah.
right? If
Yeah.
that was the case, they would have blown up the Vatican. So
Here's
no.
a shock. Fucking Celtic have got taken down by the IRA.
Aye. I remember my mate saying to me,
Conflict of interest.
why don't you think any of the two sets of paramilitaries ever bombed Scotland? And I was like, because they made a lot of money from Scotland and they had safe houses and such like here. My mate was like, do you think? I was like, fucking hell, how naive are you? Come on.
I was reading that book by Dave Keenan, For the Good Times, which is a kind of hyper surreal retelling of his dad was in the IRA, and he's his dad couldn't read, and he wanted to write a book that would, if his dad could read it, it would have been his favourite book or something like that. And he's talking about, he grew up in Airdrie, and he's talking about the safe house that his dad hid in, or like his dad would let people stay there and stuff. And then my pal Roscoe he was a tradesman, and he was in Airdrie one time, and he found he was like, to access this pipe as a plumber, we need to go through this wall, and the person's face just dropped, and they were like, come back in an hour and you can go through that wall. So they left and they came back, and he was like, right, you can go in. And he was in this room that had like a bed frame and like a crate, and he was like, and I was like, oh, was that an IRA safe house? And he was like, I think it was a kind of arse shagging dungeon. Like, right. What do you think?
Maybe those were the same. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know if you would put an IRA safe house in Airdrie.
But maybe part of the thing of if you need to go and access a safe house, there's a price and it's coming out your arse.
That might be it.
Yeah.
That might be it.
Steak knife, that's what it's called.
Slap a teacher.
Serrated
Yeah.
penis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slap a teachy. Did you just call him amazing?
Slap a cheek.
Slap a cheeksy, that'll teach you.
Oh, I think my next tour date in Belfast next year, I'm gonna get. There's going to be the kneecapification of my legs.
I like that. David Keenan said a thing about that book. Is that what he's called, David Keenan?
Yeah.
So he said this really interesting thing in an interview. Someone goes to him, aye, but you know, the message of that book. So I read that and I read Monument Maker, which is pretty heavy going.
Yeah.
But he said, the interview goes, the message of that book, it isn't very clear that you're pro or anti or whatever. And this David Keenan goes, why would I spend 4 years of my life writing a book that just says something as banal as violence isn't good? Do you know what I mean? It's got to be more than that. And I think about that a lot. And sometimes when I'm writing stuff, I sometimes think, is that a version of violence isn't good? Do you know what I mean? So I'm writing this novel at the moment, and I'm like, I've put now a year of my life into this, or more than a year of my life, probably 18 months. I want it to come out being something more than, you know, a basic message.
Of course.
And things with a message, I don't know. I'm just
usually pish.
If you know what the message, if you can take something away easily, I mean, it's not really art. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to be. It's got to have a bit of struggle in it. Aye, I really read that book. I would like to reread that book because I hadn't read Kellen Thatcher. Hadn't hung out with used to. I wasn't as
radicalised.
Exactly, I wasn't as au fait with the history of Irish republicanism as I am now, and I'd like to go back and read it. But there is a bit where the main character hides a bomb that he's going to use in his mum and dad's house, and he blows up his mum essentially, and it's kind of quite a. I took it at the time as quite a funny bit, and now I read it and go, oh. I wonder if that was supposed to be more serious. But it's not as you can't tell if he's for or against it. But that's not what it's not what it's about. It's about the fucking thrill.
Have you ever watched The Wind That Shakes the Barley?
No. I've never seen it.
Have you not?
No.
You should. It's good.
I think we spoke about it once because I was talking about how I liked barley. If you remember that episode.
Fucking hell.
I love barley soups and things
Here
like that.
is a clue.
I think we did about 2-3 weeks of soup and barley pat.
It's not about barley. It's not about barley.
Is it about the famine?
No, it's about the Irish Civil War.
Oh.
Aye, Ken Loach.
Yeah.
It won Cannes, didn't it? It won at Cannes, so Palme d'Or at Cannes. You should watch it, it's good.
What's your favourite Ken Loach film?
Probably that.
When the Shades of Barley.
I remember watching it for the first time and just being like, fuck, there's so much of this that you're just never taught. Do you know what I mean? And
Of
as
course, yeah.
much as what people speak about it and stuff like that, you go, this is fucking... There's a lot of questions, do you know what I mean? And you're just like, Jesus. But, great film. But it does kind of make you go, fucking the British are bastards. Do you know what I mean? Which most films make me do that, to be fair.
Ken Loach's retired, and you're just like, it would have been good if he'd gone out on a kind of knockabout comedy. You know what I mean? An Adam Sandler. And set it all up so you think it's going to be another typical Ken Loach thing. It's an old rundown community centre. They're trying to knock down or something like that, and then fucking Sandler comes in. That's just
Steve Carell.
Yeah.
Rob Schneider is the IRA.
Steve Carell comes in as a landowner going, nah, knock it down. Fucking amazing. I'm building student flats here. Nice.
Or they find something under the community centre, and it's like a giant tech thing. It's like Evangelion style angel.
Yeah.
And
Cyber Angel.
yeah, and all these kind of northern actors, fucking Jim Broadbent and fucking Celia Imrie and all that, I've got to get this giant thing up and running to fight whatever's fucking coming at them.
Bloody hell. Look at the size of that robot.
I fucking love Celia Imrie. Man. Celia Imrie, you could have the ghost of Roy Kinnear.
Roy Kinnear would be great in this mechanoid
Yeah.
north of England doll drama.
Have Rory in it instead, though. I like Rory. Rory Kinnear. He's a good actor.
Rory Kinnear is a good actor. Yeah.
Really good, really. Like, he's never in anything bad.
Mm.
He was in... did you watch Years and Years, the Russell T Davies thing?
No, I've not seen it.
You seen it? Oh, it's fucking brilliant. I mean, he put it out about 5 years ago, and now you're going, oh, that dystopian future that you predicted now becomes a thing. Emma Thompson's character in it, he has basically made up to look like a female Nigel Farage. It's fucking unbelievable. It's brilliant. And Emma Thompson's just Emma Thompson, and she's just great.
She's great. She wrote this film, and it's, I've told you this before. Is it called The Last Christmas?
Oh, fuck.
Right, and it's like
That's a rough watch.
based on the fucking Wham song,
Yeah.
and Emma Thompson's written it, and it's fucking Khaleesi from Game of Thrones, that actress,
Yeah.
who, God love her, isn't the world's greatest actress and knows it, but has a certain charm, right? And she's in it, and the plot is this guy, she meets this guy, her parents are going, stop fucking living at large and smoking and drinking because you've had a fucking heart transplant. She meets this guy, she falls in love with him, they're cutting about London, Covent Garden, let's all sit in Covent Garden. And then in the end, the fucking guy isn't there. And it's the ghost of the guy that gave her his heart last Christmas.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it's a terrible film.
That's
but
still on a par with when she opens up the Joni Mitchell. And
Yeah.
she thought it was going to... I mean, that just fucking ruins Christmas. I mean, I'm still raging at Alan Rickman when I watch that.
But rage at fucking Kenneth Branagh, because apparently it's like a true story.
Aye, that was it. That's what he done to her.
But she's in the film, and she's like a brilliant actress, so she's in Last Christmas, but she plays like her Russian mother or something like that, but she has like impeccable accent and fucking is just like a brilliant actor.
Yeah.
And like, so it's just like completely out of place in this movie that she's written. She just pops up and gives this like perfect performance and perfect accent.
I love it when she does like a Glasgow accent. It's so on point. It's fucking like you could literally sit and listen to that in a bus, and you're like, I just think she's absolute national treasure for me.
Well, she started out in Tutti Frutti, didn't she?
Yeah. Which was a great show. You would. Oh,
Do you know this? Tutti Frutti. John Byrne wrote this drama.
Oh,
And it's a 1950s
John
style.
I was going to say
Robbie
John Coltrane.
John Coltrane.
John Coltrane.
What show that would have been, man?
Jesus.
Of course, Miles
Can't
Davis,
act,
John
the fucking
Coltrane.
music is amazing.
The trumpet section in that show was really avant-garde. I prefer Ornette Coleman, but whatever. Tutti Frutti,
So
Robert
they're an old
Coltrane.
rock and roll style band that
Yeah.
Robbie Coltrane comes and fronts, and they travel around Scotland. But it's a bit like gigging around Scotland, you know what I mean? It's some of the shit that we have to do.
Yeah.
And ends with a guy soaking himself in vodka and self-immolating, which is a great ending.
I wrote a sitcom script about a band that was on the road, and some producer said you should probably watch Tutti Frutti because you've just done that again. That's like, right, okay.
Was that the end scene? It was the guy lying down the kind of pebble beach.
And the end scene is he goes on stage and he pours a bottle of vodka over himself
That's
and
right.
like, sets fire to himself.
That's right.
Yeah, more sitcoms should end like that.
And that
All
is
of them? Fucking Hyacinth Bouquet.
more fucking
come on.
gigs.
1 foot in the grave, I'll show you 1 foot in the fucking...
I don't believe this.
Do you know
Flame on.
keeping up appearances is the most successfully sold BBC sitcom round the world ever? I know.
I wonder if the Human Torch came after that guy self-immolated in
What one?
Vietnam. Like
Oh.
the Human Torch,
The Rage Against the Machine album cover guy.
the guy who did it the first time in Vietnam.
The
was
monk.
like a Buddhist monk.
Mm.
I wonder if the Human Torch is before that or after that. Did someone just see it like and go, that looks pretty cool?
It looks like a way to go.
Yeah, flame on.
It's a fun riff, but the history of the character dates back to, I believe, the 30s.
The 30s.
Yeah.
I'd be very surprised if it did.
Well, it was like a World War II
Oh,
era.
no, you're right, because there was an original
The
Human
Android
Torch.
version of the Human
There was
Torch.
there was an
Exactly.
original Human Torch. Yeah, that's right.
His main nemesis was Asbestos Man.
Oh. He was everybody's nemesis.
Before they found out the dangers of asbestos, there was a supervillain called Asbestos Man who had covered and was made of the miracle substance asbestos, which has no downside whatsoever.
What about fucking Namor, the undersea guy who just wants to fuck that invisible woman?
Can you believe him?
Doesn't everyone just want the thing they can't have? Just a bit of strange, a bit of... You're under the sea, you can fuck who you like.
Mm-hmm.
You got all kinds of fucking sea pals. You can ride a whale all day and you're like...
Sea pals.
I want to ride...
Can put your hole in where a turtle puts its legs and all this type of stuff.
Also, I'm going to cuck the smartest guy in the world. Are you? I don't think you are.
He does.
As I've said many times, I think Reed Richards manifested those powers in them and faked the fucking space journey to give everybody an easy. He's deliberately done that.
He's tortured them and stuff. What does asbestos do?
Kills you.
Gives you cancer, but it just kind of destroys your lung. Pleural plaques is what you get.
Pleural plaques?
Pleural plaques. My old boy had it, was a tertiary or a secondary on his death cert, because he, in the late 60s, he was renovating old council houses.
Yeah.
Aye. But that wasn't the cause, and he didn't have asbestosis or anything like that. But pleural plaques builds up, they find it in the lungs. And it's kidding that could,
because the lungs have wee hairy bits in them, don't they?
Aye, and it's the spores for the asbestos goes in.
Because you know what they did when they found out the properties of asbestos? When they found out it shouldn't be in buildings? Nothing.
Fuck all.
What do you mean?
They went, we shouldn't have done that. But they didn't go and take it all out.
Right.
There should have been a national programme of like restoration.
Like after Grenfell with the cladding.
Right.
So see, like all your flats down, all your kind of modern flats with the cladding, they've all had, all that cladding's had to be replaced.
Is that why they flats down at like
Clydeside?
Right.
So the thing was, so you remember the Red Road flats?
Yeah.
Right, so if you're listening to this and you don't know what that is, Google it and you'll see these kind of massive multicoloured high-rises. When they were being built, they used to call all the men the white mice, because it was built and the guys would come out covered head to toe, just covered in asbestos, just covered in it.
Right.
And they knew that this was doing damage, and they were like, fuck it, it's cheap material, get it in.
Is that what they were calling the guys?
Aye.
Cheap material.
Cheap material,
Fuck
aye.
me, man.
Cheap labour, cheap material.
Woo.
But it's harmless, like, if you don't touch it. So if you don't touch it and you don't disturb it, it's absolutely harmless. But if you go into, like, a house and say they want to put a fire, like a smoke detector or something in, you need to get a special company, come out to cover everything and then scrape it and then...
It's a good metaphor for a lot of Glaswegian males. I'm harmless if you don't come near me.
Aye.
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Leave me be.
I totally forgot the Commonwealth Games are coming to Glasgow, right?
Oh,
Have you seen the
not this
programme?
again.
It's fucking terrible. They've got 8 days of boxing followed by bowls. It's
Nobody wants the Commonwealth Games and nobody would host it, so Glasgow's like, get it to us.
We just had it.
But also we got
just
a
had it.
mascot that everyone kicked fuck out of.
Yeah, the thistle.
Clyde the Thistle.
Yeah.
They put him up, a wooden version of him in Queen's Park. Somebody ripped his arm off, kicked his
Jesus.
cunt in, threw him on the ground.
Judo.
Yeah.
Judo with Clyde. Aye, but it's like a downscaled programme, isn't it? So it's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
It's basically sports without teams. It's just like solo sports. So there's like no like rugby sevens or
Individualism.
hockey or any. Aye,
Any excuse to close off several fucking roads and make the whole place a fucking nightmare. The council will leap at it.
Love it.
Are they putting it in like the velodrome? The
Of course. I was in the velodrome on Saturday.
For what reason, Frankie?
Well, I tell you what, I did 10,000 steps walking around that velodrome as young Thor was playing a volleyball game.
Oh.
It would have been a bit steep, wouldn't it?
They also have basketball and volleyball courses.
Yeah, they've got the wee centre, yep.
I've been in the velodrome once in my life at a basketball event. I was hired to dress up as a cartoon character and dance for children.
What character were you?
It was Jimmy, the gym guy, the Glasgow gym mascot. And my job was to dance, and when a child passed the basketball to me, to catch it, dance more, pass it back.
I priced the velodrome.
Wow, this is like Elaine C. Smith in
I
terms
priced the
of
hell, we're
velodrome.
all
Yep.
uniting.
Connected to this velodrome in some way.
And I was down on site one day, and it was before the roof and stuff went on, and they still had the big crane.
Wow.
And I was up the top of the crane, and of course, what did I do? Took pictures of inside of Celtic Park because I could see
I was
right in.
looking at it yesterday.
Aye, because you could see right in. But it's I priced that. So it was, you've got the velodrome, then there's like the community hub, isn't there? And then there's something else next to it. It's got a gym and all that.
There's a big sand pit outside the velodrome. I was saying to my girlfriend,
Said
I'm going to take
like
a run up
true
and
nonce.
leap into this sand pit, and she taught me out it.
Yeah.
There's also a warm-up area that has a fucking good punch bag, but also hoops. You know those hoops you hang on as a gymnast? In the warm-up area, hanging at 7 feet high. Imagine that's how fit. Imagine being that fit. You're like, oh, I'd better leap 7 feet in the fucking air and hang upside down as a warm-up.
I better do Pink's stadium routine. That's crazy.
So how did they get on at the volleyball?
Let's draw a veil.
Okay. My mate works for Scottish Volleyball. She's came back into the country, and she works for Scottish Volleyball.
Was she extradited for crimes against volleyball?
For crimes against volleyball. However, she, because of her moving back from the States and stuff like that, she has fell behind in the podcast because she's working and all that kind of stuff. And
That's how podcasts work.
no, she's just like not up to date.
I couldn't get it over there. They don't.
No, she had it over there. It's when she's came over here.
Of course, yeah.
However, she sent me a wee picture from her car radio the other day, and it was the Time Ra episode, and I was like, oh, vintage guillotine.
That was one of the better episodes.
Apart from anything else, we only picked 10 players, it turned out.
It's our rules, we can do whatever we want.
I'll go in goals for the Time Ra.
The Time Ra. Amazing.
Time UVF.
Gaza.
Going for higher. Yeah. Did I speak about my idea for a kind of UVF supervillain, I think? With the,
No.
the glowing red hand that you can
Yeah.
push through walls and stuff, and you can just chases you with his hand. That'd make yeah.
Yeah, wee
So-
Protestant creep.
No, I'm not like, this is my favourite guy. I love this guy. I'm just saying. It's an idea.
He's got a base called the Closed Shop. It's just a shop no one can get into.
He has to go and he melts through the door with his hand. Who else? Thatcher.
Oh,
Obviously.
aye.
That should be in there.
The
Batten.
monarch.
What's this guy's name? Mountbatten?
Mountbatten, I'd put in a word for Robert Nyrek.
My idea for Mountbatten is if he is an exploded gentleman, could that be his power? And he's just a bunch of hands.
He's a mist.
He's like a hand
He's a red mist
with eyes.
and a cock and a naval hat
2 hands, eyes, a cock,
and an admiral's cap.
screaming phantasmic mouth,
Yeah.
and a cap, and he's going, and he's just kind of him in the hand, kind of running around.
Aye.
Yeah. That's 3 hands between them. The hand could maybe wank his cock off.
Yes,
The red hand. I don't know. It might be too burny.
maybe.
Bernie.
Maybe I think so.
Bernie, talking about wanking.
This is a
Bernie.
little Bernie.
Well, his whole body exploded. I mean, I'm sure he's used to it. That's
It's high
the
temperatures.
sensation of burning.
Survived an explosion. You can survive this disembodied Protestant hand. Martin Luther, is he getting a shout?
Oh, aye.
Yeah,
The
let him
OG.
in. Yeah, he's a kind of he's like the Charles Xavier of the thing. He's just a kind of the man in the van. You know?
John Knox.
John Knox was right, though. John Knox was all right. I don't think they can claim John Knox, by the way.
What?
Aye, John Knox was okay.
John Knox? Are you joking?
No, John Knox was right. He was like, get these royals to fuck. They're all French anyway. They've not got our fucking best interests at heart. Okay. He was a religious nutcase. Who wasn't at the time? Do you know what I mean? We've all got our faults. There's better candidates for the Time UVF, surely.
Right, okay.
I would like
Yes.
John Knox if they are existing in the kind of supervillain thing. If it was his, his gravestone in the necropolis is like a massive
Column.
column.
That's not his grave.
What's that?
That's just a kind of memorial. His grave is actually at the Court of Session. See where we done that record? me,
Oh,
you
I
and
remember.
Mary,
Aye.
I remember.
aye,
So,
aye.
and I was like, up there's John Knox's grave.
That was great. The Edinburgh Fringe gave us the chance to promote our shows with some viral content, and then released it in September.
Yeah.
Uh,
Fuck, they get millions of fucking pounds, man.
Yep. So, see where we were sitting?
yeah.
If you went round the corner, so that was a Court of Session. So I think he's number 16 or number 22, but there's a wee kind of copper plaque, and that's because that's St Giles Cathedral, so it's at the side of that.
Yeah.
And that's John Knox's grave.
Remember they got a grant of like 4 million or something, and they used it to build a new office
Aye.
and didn't do anything for the fucking Fringe.
Nah.
Implemented 2 worse websites every year. They keep making the website worse and
And
harder
a
to use.
shite app.
The app's honking.
Fucking rotten.
But listen, we'll both be performing at the Fringe next year with new shows.
That'll
free to
be
check 'em out.
that'll be after my tour.
That'll be after
in
you too.
April and May,
Yeah.
which is my best behaviour tour.
Uh-huh.
But I'm going to be at the Kings with a brand new show. 3 shows, 2 nights, bada boom. Coming of rage, because I'm fucking raging.
Who
We
else
have
is in the Time UVF?
Johnny Adair.
Johnny Adair.
Johnny Mad Dog Adair.
Mad Dog Adair. Is he still kicking the ball?
Aye, he's in Scotland, isn't he? Stays down.
Then should we be riling him up?
No, let's not. Oh,
Mate, do you not think some of these people would be like, yeah, I would be in the Time UVF?
Kyle Paisley, second son, I believe, of
Ian
the
Paisley?
late Reverend Ulster Says No Ian Paisley, who came out the other day and said that the king should renounce the throne because he's praying with the Pope. So he sounds like a fucking religious nut, so get him in it.
Get him in. Get young Paisley.
Young Kyle.
El Hijo del Paisley over here.
How many we got so far?
That's 3. That's 3 or 4.
Mountbatten, the Red Hand.
Gaza.
Gaza.
Mountbatten. The Red Hand. The sentient Red Hand of Ulster. Ian Paisley Jr. I seen a video of him. Loud.
Oh,
To put it mildly.
to put it mildly, my friend.
It'd be weird
yes.
though if he was like fucking Sufjan Stevens or something like that. I just think Catholics aren't real people.
I just think that no surrender. Maybe some surrender. I don't know.
It's a Protestant supremacy to think about it.
This is a Protestant state for Protestant people, don't you know?
A kind of anti-folk Ian Paisley.
Who else is staunch? Out there.
Is Thatcher in it?
Oh, we got Thatcher.
Yeah, maybe
That's
her
She's
65.
super staunch.
floating coffin. Glowing purple floating coffin. Just follows around. I was going to say, have you noticed that Japan has its Thatcher now?
Yes.
The new Japanese Prime Minister.
Who calls herself the Iron Lady.
She calls herself the Iron Lady. She's a self-styled Thatcherite leader following up after the assassination of Shinzo Abe. And then there's been a new Prime Minister, and now she's right
What
after
do you need to do to keep these people in line? Someone's made a homemade fucking blunderbuss and shot a bowling ball through this cunt's chest, and there's another one wants to get in the firing line.
I was reading about Shinzo Abe's assassination, and I know it's been a recurring theme in the podcast if you're a long-time guillotine.
And long before that, Christopher, we've talked about this almost daily since it happened.
What was the reason for
So,
Oh, it's interesting.
the shooter.
it? Mm-hmm.
Japan was infiltrated by a Christian cult based in Korea, which has also infiltrated America, called the Moonies.
Oh, aye.
And what the Moonies do is they would phone up people whose parents had died and say, oh, your dad or your mum wants to go to heaven, but they can't do it unless you pay us money. So they would do this, and this, every level of Japanese government, they drove this guy's mum to suicide. With the campaign of religious harassment. Then the guys, I think it was his brother, also committed suicide because the mum had committed suicide, and it was all because of harassment by this church. So the Prime Minister, Shinzo Abe, he was very much in league and playing ball with the Unification Church. So what he done was, this was after he was Prime Minister, but he was doing a speech. And do you know that way where like people talk about, oh, Barack Obama visited us once and he had the whole Secret Service, but then he came back after the presidency. It was just him and one guy. They did not expect that this guy was going to get assassinated, so he showed up to do a speech and he was just talking shit. This guy came up with a homemade blunderbuss, blew a fucking hole through the guy,
Right.
and it absolutely killed him. And at first people were like, I can't believe they've shot this guy. Then the guy went, well, here's why I did it. And everybody went, fair fucks,
Fair.
you know?
All right. The Moonies sound a bit like the Catholic Church.
Well, it's not unlike it.
Did you know it?
John Knox was right.
Yeah.
That'll be the title
There's a
of
great
this
bit in the
podcast.
Shin-
John
the
Knox was right.
The what's he called? Shinjo?
Shinzo Abe
assassination, where you hear the shot, which is like nothing you've ever heard on Earth. It's like the fucking, it's like the Earth's mantle opening, and the fucking newscaster goes, and the Prime Minister seems to be injured, and you're like, it sounded like a fucking plane hit the deck. Jesus. It sounds like it's like.
I think the Earth is injured.
Like 9/11. It sounded like 9/11.
Yeah, basically.
Right, okay.
And you're like, I think he's dead. Whatever. If he was in the path of whatever made that noise,
he's dead.
Well, anyway, now, but the thing is, it's been a completely successful assassination, and that all the policies to do with the Unification Church, they've literally went, oh, we just can't, the assassin was right. We can't have this church involved with a government at all.
No, because church and state should be two separate entities, unless you're in one of two countries, here or Iran.
But now this Japanese president, the Japanese Thatcher, she's saying that her big quote is, "I don't believe in a work-life balance." All right. We're just gonna fucking work.
She is.
Everybody's gonna work, and we're gonna get back to the fucking top of the leaderboards.
Grind set.
She's a grind set Japanese Thatcher.
She is fucking Thatcher, man, isn't she?
There's a fucking bowling ball with her name on it.
Do you know what there is? There's a bomb under a bath in a Brighton hotel with her name on it.
Yeah, an Okinawan hotel, I would say, would be the equivalent.
Fuck's sake. Yeah. She sounds terrifying.
She's gonna get. Pretty scary. I mean, it's a fairly work-orientated country, regardless. So, to just be like, no such thing as a work-life balance. Fucking get in there and do your job.
In many ways, politicians are just the things that we tell ourselves expressed in the physical world, aren't they? So sometimes you go, fucking get up early and work a bit harder. And other times you're like, no, we should chill out more. And, and they just appear as they would appear in their mind. They might not even really be there. Do you know what I mean? Jeremy Corbyn, he might not even exist. He's just an expression of desire that maybe things could be a little more chill.
No, they can't. Also, that your party, it's a disaster. That wasn't meant to be the name.
Your party, they're calling it.
Aye.
But
YOUR.
Unironically, I think maybe it's a good thing that you have all that outside of anything meaningful. So before you've got some people like, this is terrible, before this party even exists and stuff. And I sort of think, no, it's good. Before you exist, have all the fucking stuff. It's good you all didn't go and join the Greens and poison them with your... Like, one of the things is they're all terminally online. They're the most internet poison section of society. Probably even more than people on the far right.
Yep.
So have that there. And maybe your ideal is either that synthesises and you go, some of these people that seemed like cranks in the fucking Corbyn era now have gone, oh, you've all got to pull in the same direction and get somewhere, right? Or you fucking splinter, in which case, you've got rid of them, right? And you and the Greens are kind of going in the same direction anyway. 5 years' time, when it's a fucking 45-degree summer, you're all kind of saying the same thing anyway. Maybe you should go into different fucking columns. I don't think it matters.
How are we feeling about Zach Polanski?
I think all right. I mean, that thing, like Zara Sultana got some flack, didn't she, for saying, oh, fucking the Greens, they aren't hard enough on NATO and they aren't hard enough on Israel. I think that's true. I think, they should be. Why would you have diplomatic relations with Israel? Particularly if you're going, well, we're going to be this left-wing party now and we want those votes. Well, and also NATO, never been bigger, never been stronger. And, people go, oh, that's not something the man in the street cares about, fucking NATO or whatever. Politics is the business of making the fucking electorate care about the things that are relevant, right? And if we've now got people saying it needs to be 5% of GDP goes to weapons during peacetime.
Aye.
If you can't make that an issue in an economic crisis, then what's the point?
I think Polanski's playing it so that he kind of appeals to everybody.
It's an unfortunate surname, isn't it, Polanski? To my mind is brought to the famous pedo Roman Polanski.
You think that? whatever the person's saying. He's just in the front of your consciousness at all times.
Permanently.
Rosemary's Baby was a fantastic
It was a
film.
great film.
It's a bit like Phil Spector's Christmas album.
Yeah.
Sometimes you've just got to overlook it and listen to the raw ends.
It's a screamer, that, isn't it?
That's
Jesus.
a belter of an album.
He invented the wall of sound, my God.
Inspired by his screaming victims.
Yeah, he went, actually sounds quite good when you just, Aha! I think in the time, not to get away from the Green Party, but I think in the time UVF, obviously ideologically, Shinzo Abe is not anything to do with Ulster, but spiritually, I think they could bring him in, and the hole in his chest that he was shot through, if you could use that to channel energy, and shoot lasers.
You put the right hand through it.
Well, not you.
To charge it up.
You could have fucking Mountbatten as a mist filling in. If he concentrated himself in that hole,
Yeah.
you're like that. Oh, this is just Shinzo Abe coming towards me. It's Mountbatten flying out of his chest cavity.
The whole team could combine. Like, do you remember the Power Rangers
Yeah.
used to be like, I'll be the head, you be the shoulders, you be the legs, and they form the Megazord.
Yeah.
If the UVF, at the time, UVF could come together.
Well, this is Ken Loach's movie right here. Fucking come back, Ken.
Ken!
Ken!
Mr. Loach, please. We need to have this kind of anime in your own style.
Who else? Who else?
Who's a staunch bastard. They don't need to be associated with Ulster politics. Just an unremitting frame of mind.
And I kind of have...
Oh, like Nicholas Witchell.
Oh, Nicholas Witchell. And fucking what's his chops that was on the Guinness Book of Records? Remember?
Oh, Norris McWhirter.
Norris McWhirter.
the guy whose eyes come out too far.
He was a mad unionist. Him and
Aye.
his brother were like crazed unionists.
Aye.
Yeah.
The McWhirters.
And Nicholas Witchell.
Who's
on the
Nicholas
wings.
Witchell? Is he a witch?
No, he was like the royal reporter of the BBC for
Fuck.
years. He was a kind of professional
Arse
licker.
Paul Burrell type figure?
No.
He was like a newscaster who just went to concentrate on bigging up the royals. He obviously hated them.
Aye. There's actually a clip of Prince Charles going, I hate this man. And it's like wee ginger Nicholas. They're on the slopes of where did they used to go skiing?
Cloisters.
Cloisters, that's it.
But he's not about so much now with the whole Andrew business. You'd expect him out doing the PR. Going,
You'd expect
of course,
him
Andrew will have
reporting on
fucked him incredibly well.
yes,
I mean, he'll have done a very good job of it.
It was the second story on the BBC the other day. The second story, I was like, what the fuck? It like literally, they're trying to keep propping up the monarchy, and you're making this the second story. Come on, so definitely Nicholas Witchell.
I think it's suspicious so many of the royals have trained helicopter pilot licenses, so they can drop the bodies of their victims out at sea. William, Andrew, I think that's part of it.
I just checked BBC News, and the current headline is the woman who claims to be Madeleine McCann. Are you familiar with this?
Is Madeleine McCann? That would be a belting. Fucking.
That would be a true headline.